parts of the section. So, if I want to find a certain part, if I'm looking at an atlas map, and I want to find a certain part of the section, or I want to describe to my friend Nicole how to find this part of this part of the section. How in the world am I going to describe to her to find that?
The northeast corner.
Okay, you need to get a little more specific than that.
The farthest most northeast corner. I'm guessing.
Okay, so the way that we do that is, of course, in geography, you describe direction by north, south, east, and west, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so if I'm going to describe to somebody how to find this part in the map, I'm going to tell them the north half first. Okay, so the north half. Okay, and then I'm going to tell them
East corner.
huh?
East top corner.
You're almost there, Madison.
16.
Well,
Eighth.
no, what's this? The northeast,
Corner.
the northeast part.
That's what I said.
Yeah, you're right. And then if I wanted to go even further to be more specific,
Divided up into eighths.
well, I divide this one up into another fourths. Another four. And then it was right about here. So what would that be?
16.
Huh?
16. Northeast 16.
Well, it would be the northeast, this would be the northeast corner of this. Of this,
Oh, right.
right?
Doesn't make any sense.
Okay, so this is where it gets a little complicated because I would have to say, I want you to find the northeast corner of
Northeast corner.
the northeast corner of the north half.
Got it.
Okay? So when you do this, you need to make sure that you work backwards. Does that make sense? So you're gonna start here, because if you start here, what do you get if you turn this one around? Madison, you wanna come up here and show everyone what you would get? Where it is if you would start figuring it out from finding it this way, going that way. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Okay, so if I started, if I instead of saying what we just, if you were going through this and you were like, okay, I need to find the northeast corner of the northeast corner of the northeast of the north half, and you're like, so if I'm going to do that, I need to, if you started here instead of starting here. Am I still not making any more sense?
Well, I don't know how you want me to draw that though. Like I get what you're saying, that if you do it backwards, you're not gonna find the right spot.
Right, yeah, so find the spot if you do it wrong.
I don't know how to write that.
Just, all I want you to do is just divide it in half and point to the box when you get the answer.
How about I do that? But the northeast corner, so just draw like that, right?
Well, this would be this whole thing would be the northeast corner. Does that make sense to you guys?
So this whole thing is the northeast quarter, right?
Yep, and then you
And
would
then you
say,
divide it into this, right?
yep,
And then you'd say of the north half.
and the north, no, and the next northeast, because you found the northeast corner of this whole thing, of this big box.
And then the northeast quarter is this one, so we do that.
Yep,
And the north half, so we do that.
half, north half. Nope, you're in the right box. North half of this box. So that's the north half.
Like that.
Yes,
That's not where it was though.
right. Does that make sense to you guys? So if you start with this, if you start figuring it with this side, you're gonna get the wrong answer in most cases. So you have to work backwards when you find these things. So now the question is, let's get the right plot back there again. So now the question is, how big is that plot of land?
116. No. 16 times 16. 1 mile.
No, because this whole thing is 1 mile, remember?
1/16 of a mile.
How many acres?
Many acres
Two.
per square mile.
How many acres are in a square mile? Do you guys remember how many
Oh,
acres
it's
are in a square mile?
640.
40.
Yep.
So when I just divide that by 16.
I just got 16 though. Those are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16.
Okay, so if we wanna figure this
Dang it.
out, okay,
I'm
you
doing it.
wanna try it? You wanna try it?
Hang on.
Are you understanding this, Ella?
10. 10
I need
acres.
a yes or no? You are? Are you sure?
10 acres.
10 acres. That's right.
Ha!
How'd you figure it out?
Cause there's the top north. Okay, that whole box, that one, is there's 16 boxes in that. Like that, cause you divided that one into 4, and then there's 4 of those, so there's 16. So 16 times 4 is 64, I think it was maybe. And then I divided 640 by 64 because we're just looking for one of them, which would be 10.
Yep. Or another way you could do it, which is equally as tedious, I guess you could say, is that you could divide this by 4. And that equals what? 640 divided by 4.
160.
Yep, 160. That gives you the amount of acres in this area. That's 160. And then you divide this by 4. And that gives you
40.
40. So I wanna before we, so when you divide that, this guy right here, how many of you guys deer hunt, right? When you deer hunt, you hunt on a 40, right? You guys have your own land for hunting? Yes? Okay, so normally when you buy land, it comes in increments of 40, correct? Would you all agree with that? Okay, so when, at least where I hunt right now, whenever we talk about the land that we hunt on, they say this 40, or that 40, or that 40. Does that make sense? Yep. Okay, so that's when you, that's the plot of land that you would call a 40. So, it's 1/16 of a mile, a square mile, that you have of land if you have a 40. And then you could divide 40 again by 4, which gives you 10.
My way is easier.
Okay, does that make sense?
Yep.
Pretty easy?
Yep.
Yeah? Okay, wanna make a game out of it?
Not really.
What's the game first?
So the game is, I'm gonna give you guys, I'm gonna split you up into 4 teams. And then, or just do it all on your own. And then I'm gonna give you this sheet here. And I'm gonna tell you to find, or actually, we can do this a little differently if we want to. So instead of doing that, I'm gonna put something up here like this. I'm going to want you to find a plot. And the first one to do it gets the point at the end. So you get a little practice in finding these things.
what's going on?
Okay,
It's
so.
gonna give us a thingy, and
So-
then it's find it.
You were in the bathroom for this. So, we found this plot of land, right here, with these directions. Okay?
Start backwards.
So we're gonna make a game out of it, and I'm gonna draw one of these boxes, two of these boxes on the board. Split you guys up into a couple teams, and then I'm gonna say find the southwest quarter of the northeast quarter of the north half. Okay? And you have to find that. First person to find it gets the point at the end. We'll get a little practice in here with that.
Can I go potty?
Is this just a game or is this like literally how they find pieces of land?
Huh?
Is this how they find pieces of land or is this just a game?
This is just gonna be this is gonna be practice for how we're going to find pieces of land later. Okay, so. What? About, 3 groups. Because if we're going up to the board, we're not room on the board to do 4.
There's gonna be 3 groups of 2 and a group of 3. Or 2 groups of 2 and a group of 3.
What's Johnson can play,
I could play, well,
home team advantage.
it would be, it would be a conflict of interest for us.
You can be in my team.
We'll just have 1 group of 3.
Okay, so, you two, actually, you two,
And the 3 girls.
we can pause the taping right now.